I know you all think that this thumbnail is clickbait, but it's not, because I am going to show you how you can buy the upside of ETH for $180 or so. We'll check that out in a couple of seconds. Also, we're going to talk about the Bitcoin price, because look what happened. We broke the trend line, and the next level over here is, for me, 22,400. If we break 22,400, then we got to seriously re-strategize. But I actually don't think we're going to break 22,400. I'm going to show you the fundamental data that shows that I actually may be right. I'm also going to take some trades today with you live. You're going to tell me what to trade in the BYBIT competition. I'm doing really well. Not sure how everybody else is doing, but let's do this. Let's do this. Everyone here is ripping me off about my sweater. So in the comments, let me know what you think of my sweater. James says I look like a homeless person. Fred says, Fred, what did you say about my sweater?
I said your sweater looks like a sweater Ronald Weasley would wear. Crack myself up, sorry.
Who's Ronald Weasley?
Ron Weasley from Harry Potter. Everyone knows Ron Weasley. Come on, you don't know Ron Weasley?
I mean, guys, let me know in the comments if you think that this sweater is good for YouTube, or if it's not good for YouTube. And let me know if I should take it off. If you say I should take it off, I'll take it off. If not, I'll leave it on. That's what I'll do. Also, let me know how you guys are doing in the BYBIT trading competition. Let's see how I'm doing. I am currently number 123. I'm doing quite well, but not as well. I'm going to show you my trades. I think first, though, what we should do is we should look at Ran Weasley. I think we should look at Fred's trades also. This is Fred.
Oh, bro. You threw me under the bus there. I can explain.
Fred, what is this, bro?
So let me just, I didn't apply any of my risk management tools to this account. I'll be dead honest with you. 50x leverage along the top.
What the hell happened here, bro?
Take it away. That's embarrassing.
Fred. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Carl, stop talking. Share your screen. Commenting on Fred. Share your screen, please. Carl's here mocking Fred. Meanwhile, where's Carl? Listen, guys, by the way, if you do want to join the competition, there are 171 of us that are already here. In the description below, there is a referral link. You just go to, in fact, let me actually show you how to do this. But someone said Fred is dead. He is dead. And then we've got to start the show, because there's a lot of stuff to do the show. Because I've got Coach K coming on here. He's going to be talking about. He says you know, Coach K. He says we're going to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. So let's see what he says there. All right, let's do this. Okay, so yeah, the sweater actually does look good on YouTube. What are you guys talking about, man? It's amazing. It's a Dolce & Gabbana sweater. You guys just don't have any taste. All right, so a few things that you need to see here. You want to join the BYBIT trading competition. There are still a few days that you can join with us. The more people that join, the bigger the prize money. You need $250 to play. And remember, I'm going to be sponsoring people. I'll sponsor some people today as well, 10 people to play with us. Sign up using this referral link over here, then click on this referral link over here, and that'll take you straight to the competition. So you click, bang, one click, you're in the competition. Everything is amazing. Also, I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag now. You click here, you join the Crypto Banter Discord. It's our first day, so don't break it, guys. Do not break it. Just click here and you can join the Discord. The Discord looks something like this. If you want VIP access, there's a little bot here that says apply here. You put in your BYBIT, your BitGet, your KuCoin, your Binance referral code, and you get into the VIP zones. So everything is free, but there is a VIP zone. And if you want to be in the VIP zone, you've got to have a account with one of our referral links. But otherwise, everything is free. All the charts at One Coin Panel are absolutely, absolutely free. So anyway, I've wasted 5 minutes. Won't let me join the Discord. Doesn't work. I hope not. Let me know what's happening with the Discord. It is our first day, so just go easy on our Discord. Alrighty. Lastly, subscribe to our channel. 95% of you are subscribed, 5% of you are unsubscribed. Don't be a loser. Subscribe to the channel. Just subscribe. Also hit the bell notification because that tells you when we're going live. You know what? Sheldon is catching up to me. He's not here now, but he is. It says link expired for the Discord. We need to get a proper Discord link. All right, we're checking that now. Sheldon is catching up to me in the trading competition, which is crazy. So he's actually the only guy here at Banter that I'm worried about him and Miles, but he's catching up to me. All right, like, subscribe. Let's fucking go. Let's do this. Let's fix the Discord link because people are saying it's. How can we do that? Let me click it and see what happens. Okay, let's see if it worked. It worked. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, just don't overload it. It's our first day. Guys, don't overload it. It's our first day. Don't overload it. Everything's cool. All right, let's talk about the markets. What's going on in the markets? Very, very quickly. We were worried about this trend line that Bitcoin was on. Wouldn't want Bitcoin to break the trend line, but I did tell you that I thought it was going to happen because I thought the NASDAQ was going to get a pullback. Remember that? So we had a pullback in the NASDAQ, but it was a very, very, very short-lived pullback. We had the NASDAQ going down a couple of 100 points yesterday, and that's, again, after it has gone up in the last month, 20%. So if you look at, let's go back to the 15th or wherever it was, I call it there, and we go to where it is, 17% in the last month, okay? Ran's jumper has more holes than Fred's trading strategy. You guys are crazy. Okay, hold on. I just need to blow my nose a little bit. Okay, so do you want to show them a picture of how I parked today? You can show them. Upload the picture. All right, so we did have a little bit of a pullback in. We did have a little bit of a pullback. Don't put it on Twitter. We did have a little bit of a pullback in the NASDAQ. It's still above the trend line, but we had the pullback, and that's because the Fed minutes came out yesterday, and the Fed minutes are it's quite a crazy thing because what the Fed minutes are, they publish minutes of the previous meeting that they had, which is like 2 weeks ago. They publish the minutes. And then the market reacts to the minutes of what was said in the meeting like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so that's what happened. Let's just quickly look at the S&P. Remember, I said to you that the S&P. This is the one we're looking at right now, because the S&P has been rejected by both the 200-day moving average, which you can see over here, and by this trend line. If we break through this trend line, and the NASDAQ has broken through this trend line, then you can say the bottom's in and we're going into a new bull market. If it doesn't, what I suspect will happen is I suspect that the NASDAQ will take a pullback, and that will bring the NASDAQ under this trend line over here. That's what I think. So that's what happened. What happened yesterday with the minutes? What is it that caused the NASDAQ to go down 200, 250 points, and then to kind of do a U-turn and recover most of the losses for the day? Show you what it was. It was a couple of sentences that came out of it. The first sentence that came out of it was some of the Fed officials said that they saw a slower pace of rate hikes at some point. In other words, they're saying, look, we're going to slow down at some point. We can't carry on. We can't carry on increasing rates at this rate. Many officials saw risk Fed could tighten more than necessary. So now they're saying, look, we're actually kind of scared that the Fed's going to tighten more than it needs to. Okay, so that's another thing that came out of the minutes. Another thing that came out of the minutes said all the Fed officials backed raising rates by 75 basis points in July. We knew that. But there was one line in the minutes which I think turned the whole market. So what is the one line in the minutes that turned the whole market? It's this line over here which says, and most expected a 50 basis point rate hike in September to follow. So whereas they all agreed that a 75 basis point rate hike was what they needed in the last meeting, it said that a 50 basis point rate hike was likely in September. And when that happened, remember yesterday I showed you this chart, and the probability of a 50 basis point and a 75 basis point rate hike were the same. It was about 50-50. Well, now it's more towards a 50 basis point rate hike. It's 60-40 right now. And that's because of this one line in the Fed meeting. When this came out, the NASDAQ, I'll take you to the hourly just so you can see it. Looks pretty cool in the hourly when you look at the hourly. So that was this turn yesterday. See, that turn yesterday was exactly when the minutes were published, and they said, okay, hold on a second. We're actually going to increase by 50 basis points in September. So if that's the case, and they do increase by 50 basis points in September, that could mean that we've seen the bottom. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying, that it could mean that we've seen the bottom. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that have missed this rally completely, and then we call those people rally haters, okay? So there are two types of people. There's some people that rode this rally and milked it for everything that it had, and there are others which sat on the side and they hate this rally. And they hate this rally because they're calling the market down. And later on, we're going to bring a rally hater onto the market. There's a lot of rally haters. Elio, my friend Elio, who I respect deeply, but he's hated this rally. El Capo hates this rally. Hates this rally. The 4,000 people that follow him, or the whatever, also hate this rally. But we don't want to be rally haters. Kyle is a rally hater. We don't want to be rally haters. We want to ride the rallies and ride the market up and ride the market down. And if the market does break this, then the rally haters are going to have a real problem, because if the market breaks this and we go into a new bull market, then we're going to have a big problem. So TED Talks Macro, who's a friend of our channel, he says, look, the coming month could confirm that the bottom was in a while back, which is when the beginning of the rally started, when I told you guys that you should be buying because I said that there was too many liquidations. What is he saying? He's saying, look, if data continues to show that inflation has peaked, which is probably what's happened, those who have been scared out of the market on unprecedented hawkishness, inflation, and war will be forced to accept that they missed the bottom and that they must buy back higher. And if you look at all the data since the Fed's most recent meetings, have showed that price conditions have actually improved. Okay, so and he's saying the next thing that could actually confirm that is the PCE data, which comes out on the 26th of August, one day before my birthday. Okay, so one day before my birthday, I want a present. The PCE data. Now, PCE is, I Googled this for you guys, just so I can give you a good definition. It's the Personal Consumption Index, which measures U.S. inflation, tracking the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. That's a much better indication of consumers, okay, of inflation. Now, that's coming out on the 26th of September. If that number starts coming down and everything starts showing that prices are starting to come down, then when the Fed meets again, and remember, there are only 3 more Fed meetings this year. There's September, November, and December. That's it. When the Fed meets again in September, if they rate hike by 50 basis points, then I think this market picks up a huge rally just in time for the Ethereum merge. So we'll have the Ethereum merge first, and then we'll pick up a huge rally. Up until then, we've got PCE coming out, we've got inflation numbers coming out, CPI numbers coming out, and once that is all done, that'll give us more of an insight as to what the Fed's going to do. In the interim, as I said to you guys, I'm still waiting for a little bit of a pullback from the NASDAQ, but what I've done in my trading portfolio is I cut all the shorts. And I went slightly long. ThorChain and slightly long on Near Protocol, just in case we're going to see a bounce. I'm watching the Bitcoin price. If Bitcoin stays at about this level, I think alts will start catching up. And I'm also watching the NASDAQ. So right now, the NASDAQ down 16 points, so really not there. Market's opening in a minute. I think it's pretty much opening right now. Cool. So that's where we are when it comes to the big macro picture. There is trouble in China. There's big trouble in China, and we should keep our eyes on China, because when they say there's trouble in China, well, trouble in China. Okay, so let's talk about trouble in China. Remember why Elon sold his Bitcoin? Remember when Elon went on the stream And he said the reason why he sold his Bitcoin.
Incurred restructuring charges related to targeted staffing reductions.
Yeah, actually, it should be mentioned that the reason we sold a bunch of our Bitcoin holdings was that we were uncertain as to when the COVID lockdowns in China would alleviate. So it was important for us to maximize our cash position given the uncertainty of the COVID lockdowns in China. We are certainly open to.
Okay, so remember that's what he said, and at the time we're like, "What do you mean we don't know about the uncertainty in China?" Well, it turns out that he was actually right. And what's happening in China now is China's going through a little bit of a meltdown. So the first thing is the Sichuan province has orders all factories to shut down for 6 days to ease power shortages. And the Sichuan province is a province that makes a whole lot of Tesla batteries. I'll play you about a minute of this.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just a knock-on effect on the economy here in China, but also could potentially have knock-on effects on the global economy. Sichuan now is in southwest China. It is one of China's largest provinces with 84 million people. It's ordered all factories to shut down production for 6 days to ease that power shortage. Now, to your point, this is
so there's a lot of manufacturers there. Apple manufacturers are there. Tesla's battery manufacturers are in Sichuan province. That's a big problem. There are other problems in China. First of all, because of their COVID lockdowns, their factory data and their CP and their consumer spend data has plummeted. And also what we're getting in China is we're getting a collapse of the real estate bubble. So what happened in China is the real estate bubble is collapsing. Now in China, real estate is much more important and much more prestigious than stocks. People believe in owning real estate. That's a status symbol in China of wealth, is people invest in real estate. And what's happened in China is something very interesting. There was a housing bubble where people paid deposits for apartments that were still to be built. These developers took that money and started building projects, but then used it as leverage to go and build the next project and the next project and the next project. And so there's a whole lot of projects where a whole lot of people have paid deposits, but the buildings aren't going up because there's no money to get the buildings up. So that's what's happening in China. Just to give you an idea of how important real estate is in China, look at the average price, sales price per square meter, which is about 10 square feet for the US viewers, $7,768 a meter. So it's a big housing bubble in Beijing and Shenzhen and Shanghai, which are the big areas in China. Now, what's happening now is you can see that there's a whole lot of unfinished property projects, where people have to pay loans. And what the people are now saying is, look, we can't pay the loans. We're not paying the loans. We cannot repay these loans. And they've been protesting on the banks. And the Chinese government has kind of like pushed the whole thing aside and said, look, the Chinese government has agreed to pay $15,000 for lost deposits, but only if the banks weren't involved in non-compliant transactions. So it's like pushing it all away. So there is a meltdown in China. We've got to watch out for a meltdown in China because that really could affect the rest of the market. Keep your eyes on that. Those are the things that we're watching. Oh, what else? Saw this. You'd love this. So remember the company that invested in Celsius, the Canadian pension fund. When they invested in Celsius, this is what they said. So Celsius investment shows conviction in blockchain, says this Canadian investor in Celsius. Well, yesterday they came out and they said the pension fund CDPQ writes off $200 million in Celsius. We arrived too soon. Says it won't make any bets in the crypto industry. Spinach hands, lettuce hands. Now, the problem with this is when Celsius and these guys collapse, even though a lot of people start celebrating and saying, not your keys, not your Bitcoin and everything else, you got to think about what's really going on. And what's really going on is we're giving the regulators a license to regulate crypto much more strictly. So that's what's going on. And yesterday we got something here in Canada, where if you live in any of these applicable provinces, before I start this, we got this communication from the Nazi state of Canada, or I don't want to call it a Nazi state, but the crazy communist state, country of Canada. I couldn't believe this when I read it, but it says, look, if you live in any applicable province, the net limits that you can buy $30,000 per year of any of cryptocurrency, except 4 cryptocurrencies. What are the 4 cryptocurrencies? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. I mean, who made a law that you can buy any amount of Bitcoin, Ethereum? There are 4 unrestricted currencies that do not count towards your limit: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. And everything else you can only buy $30,000 a year. Okay, now this is very scary. You got to think about this. Look at these controls that they are putting on what you can and what you can't spend in Canada. Now fast forward a couple of years and imagine that the US or Canada has a central bank digital currency, and they can actually control how you spend your money. So what they'll do is they'll publish a law like this. You'll go onto a site, you'll try and spend your central bank digital currency, and you won't be able to. This is very scary. This is very, very scary. And that's why you should be accumulating as much Bitcoin as you can as quickly as possible. If you live in Canada, when they say 4 unrestricted cryptocurrencies, buy as many of the Bitcoin as you possibly can, because Bitcoin is really, really, really decentralized. It's the only one. I'm not going to say the only one on this list, but it's the most decentralized one on this list. And so if I was living in Canada, first of all, I'd leave. Okay. Someone says, did you get dressed in the dark this morning? Some people saying it's it's a good sweater. Some people saying it's a bad sweater. Tell me in the comments what you think. So if I was living in Canada right now, I'd be panicking and I'd be buying Bitcoin. We saw what happened with the truckers. We saw everything else. And I don't know if I'd be buying Ethereum. And I'll tell you why I don't know if I'd be buying Ethereum, because I think now that Ethereum is moving to proof of stake, we're starting to see a real problem emerging with Ethereum. And it started off with this whole tornado cash thing. So for those of you who've been living under a rock, OFAC, which is these are the people that impose sanctions in the United States. People say they love the sweater, bro. They sanctioned an open source protocol called Tornado Cash. I think we all know that. And what they mean when they sanctioned the protocol, remember, when someone is sanctioned, it means that you're not allowed to deal with that entity at all. You're not allowed to have any dealings at all with the sanctioned entity. And if you do, you could actually go to prison and you could pay huge fines, unless you have the permission of OFAC. So OFAC is the body that sanctions people, but also gives permission for people to deal with sanctioned parties, and they make exceptions on some really, really, really exceptional circumstances where it's a matter of national security. So now let me ask you a question. In proof of work, the miners solve a complicated maths problem, and then the first miner that cracks the problem, the first miner to crack the math problem, mines the block and earns the block reward. That's how Bitcoin's proof of work works. With proof of stake, the validators need to validate the transaction, right? So instead of big computers mining blocks, validators, which are sometimes centralized entities, vote whether the block should be mined or not mined. That's how it works. That's how proof of stake works. You stake your Ethereum, and your staked Ethereum are like votes which decide whether the block is correct or not correct. Now, what if you were a staker in the United States? What if you were a validator in the United States and you validated a block with a Tornado Cash transaction in it? Well, effectively then what you're doing is you're breaching sanctions. You're breaching sanctions. And for that, you could get fined, you can go to jail, and there are a whole lot of other implications. So let's look at how serious this problem is, because now what we're starting to see is a scenario where there may be a hole in this proof of stake that Ethereum is moving to. And it started here. It says, since the majority of ETH nodes are running on AWS and Google, how long till the US government pressures them to run only on OFAC-compliant Ethereum nodes? And so I took a look at where are these nodes. And you can see that the biggest nodes are on Lido. Lido has the biggest nodes. Then the second one is others, a whole lot of others. But then you got Coinbase and you got Kraken. And both Coinbase and Kraken are domiciled in the United States. They're both exchanges that operate in the United States. And they are the third and fourth biggest stakers of Ethereum. Now, what happens when the third and fourth biggest stakers of Ethereum, the third and fourth biggest validators of Ethereum are in the United States, and the government can decide which blocks they can mine and which blocks they can't mine? So now this has become a big problem. Because if you look at this tweet over here, let's look at this tweet over here, and it says, which in fact, let me go to a different tweet. It says, look, if regulators ask you to censor at the Ethereum protocol level with your validators, will you comply and censor at the protocol level, or shut down the staking service and preserve the integrity of the network? And Brian Armstrong, who's head of Coinbase, says it's hypothetical. We hopefully won't actually face, but if we did, we'd go with B and shut down our staking service, which means the people staking wouldn't earn any rewards. But we've got to focus on a bigger picture, and therefore, there may be a better option called C, which is a legal challenge against the government. Yeah, not sure that would happen. Sorry, my friend. Eric Wall says, question for the Ethereum community. If a majority of the stake chooses A in this poll, will you consider the censorship an attack on Ethereum and burn their stake via social consensus, or tolerate the sponsorship? Most people said burn their stake because they're breaching decentralization. Vitaly came in, he said, I voted X for this, on this poll. But what we are seeing now is we're starting to see a little bit of the cracks of proof of stake, because the governments can still control the validators, whereas with proof of work, with Bitcoin mining, they can't control the validators. And so I think it's very, very, very important that you guys bear this in mind. First of all, when you're staking your Ethereum, I wouldn't stake with any US-based entities. I would stake it probably on Lido, because it's a decentralized protocol, which is not actually owned by anyone. But I mean, it is something to think about. All right, we're going to talk about how you can buy ETH for $188. We'll do that at the end. I see I've got Coach K in the waiting room. I also did want to show you guys a shitcoin. No, it's a real shitcoin. Genuinely, it's a shitcoin. A South Korean professor has invented a toilet that turns poop into energy and pays people in digital currency. So a person defecates 500 grams a day, converted into 50 liters of methane gas, which generates 0.5 kilowatts. So it's the real shitcoin now invented. We have invented. Kujira. We spoke about this yesterday. Hold on. We spoke about Kujira yesterday. We should talk a little bit more about Kujira. They're starting to generate 2% real yield. We say real yield, not through emissions of their own token, but actually through the protocol and the applications on the protocol. And they could quickly get it to 10%. Real APR without Ponzinomics, without inflation. So we did speak about Kujira yesterday. Telling you about them again. I think keep your eye on Kujira. I think it's very, very, very cool. All right, let's talk to one of the. Remember, we said there are two types of people in the world: those that love this rally and those that hate this rally. I'm going to bring in someone who probably hates this rally, who thinks we're going back to 17,000 and below. Right? He did say that the last time he was here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a rally hater. Ta-da!
I'm not a hater. I'm a hedger, baby. So I play both sides. That's the way to do it.
You play both sides, coach.
I mean, not in that way, but you know what I mean. I always hold Bitcoin and Ethereum from a few cycles now, and the reality is that I hold those. So if the market rallies and it goes up, I mean, I never really lose. I closed my short because it hit my stop and profit, which is great. Made a great amount of capital on that, and now I'm just waiting to see if the market reacts the way I think. If it doesn't, as a trader, you have to flip your bias when things change. But I'm not really convinced yet. I'd like to see us.
Okay, show us the chart. Show us the chart. Show us the chart. Show us why you're not convinced. And then I want to actually throw a challenge at you, my friend. We are running a trading competition on BYBIT. And basically, all you need is $250 in your account, right? So very simple. And right now, I'm coming 127th out of 2,197. I think you should join us, so that it's like we say, look, it's all cool to do charts and shit, but put your money where your mouth is, bro.
Always, man, always. Well, for $250, it kind of is a little bit lower than my normal amount. But
you can put in $10,000. I've got $5,000. I'm ranked 127th at the moment. Fred liquidated himself.
It's okay. I'm sure a lot of people liquidated themselves because the market's been a little bit flippy floppy for a bit. I mean, on a chart, it does look like, yeah, okay, we came into the good zone, all right, a couple times. Actually, while I was on vacation, we came into the good zone. So that's a good thing. We want to be in that good, not the bad or the ugly. But this kind of looks like a rising wedge. Obviously, if we look at, like, I'll just zoom in here a little bit more. If we look at this on the daily, we're kind of like in a neutrally bullish, potentially flip. But what we need to see is us go from down here on the cloud to break above the cloud over here. If we did that, then I would say, just like I did in July when we had the huge jump and everyone was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And I thought we would come back up. I said, well, if we're going to do that, we have to break above the cloud. So what that would tell me we're really actually bullish. This is why people are talking about the level at 30K. A lot of people don't understand that, but that's a nice level where if we broke above it, I would say, yeah, we're likely bullish. We likely would get above this 200 EMA on the date. Here's where the other side comes from. So people say, well, why are you still bearish? When we go to a 3-day, we're still quite bearish. We're far underneath the cloud. We have Tenkan still hooking lower and lower against our Kijun, and the cloud's quite far away. So we could potentially even go up to this level and reject and come back down. That doesn't mean that I think we're 100% bearish. I think there's some potential on the daily, but on the weekly is where I'm kind of concerned. See, the weekly has been rejecting this 200 EMA. And if you go really far back on the BLX, the weekly 200 EMA pretty much has only been broken once, and it was for a very short time. So it could be like this again, very short time, and then gets above it. We start seeing it move again. But look at this Tenkan. This is showing us we're potentially going lower. So that might be we're going lower to just this level. We break above it, we test it, we get above it, and then we start moving back up. Or this has been a great fake out. What also I've seen recently is the wallet analysis. So a lot of the wallets with 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin in the last few days have been throwing all that Bitcoin onto exchanges. So there's a couple of reasons why they do that. Number one, they put all that Bitcoin on exchange to scare people and buy and push them in the market higher. Or they put that on there, hoping they'll forget for 3 weeks, push the market really high. People get excited. They start jumping into the market saying, oh, we're definitely not bearish now. And then they sell and they cause a cascading effect.
So wait, hold on. You're talking about wallets with 1,000 Bitcoin or more.
But it's between 10 and 1,000 Bitcoin. So those have actually started to put more on the exchange.
So they have been dropping their. So they have in August, well, in July, since June, they've been dumping. And in August, if you take the beginning of August, there were 2,134 of those wallets, and there are now 2,145. So about stable, so to speak.
Yeah. So like yesterday, I believe, or the day before, I posted a chart showing that they've been starting to add, I think it was like 20,000 Bitcoin or so. It's not something substantial, but if I sold 20,000 Bitcoin on the exchange, it would dump the price substantially. That could be to push the market higher. Like I said, there's two scenarios that could happen. So you have to just be careful, because here's what a smart whale does. Smart whale loads it on, hopes you forget about it, knows that crypto's on there, waits for a few weeks, maybe a month, and then while the prices continue to rise, then they slam it down. I don't know if that's for sure. I can't tell you 100%. But what I do is I always teach people to play defense. Don't worry about if you're bullish or bearish. Worry about in the short term and the long term. The long term, we're always going to be bulls. Rand's going to be bull. I'm going to be a bull. Everyone who's watching this show is still here because they're also going to be a bull. That's not me saying I want the market to go down or up. I just play the market as it is. But I play defense because we've seen this before. This really didn't have a dead cat bounce all the way down. So is this a dead cat bounce? It looks like one on a weekly chart. So I'm just playing defense, being sure. I'm really flat, and a lot of good traders right now are also flat. Flat meaning we are mostly in cash. Yeah.
In the interest of time, up or down from here?
So again, up or down from here?
Up or down from here?
I truly believe we are going to retest this low, at very least. Going to back to retest somewhere around 18, 17, 5. I think we'll retest it. Usually when we come up,
18, 17, 5. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's very logical. Yeah.
At what point does that thesis become invalidated? Over 30,000? If we break over that cloud at 30,000, Coach K says, I was wrong. We're not going to test the lows again. We're going straight back up.
Here's where I said long your longs. So we'll go back in history. Right here, I saw this 3 inside down. I said, oh, we're looking really bad. July, I said, if we were going to get bullish again, we would need to break above the cloud. Then I would tell you to long your longs. We broke above the cloud. It sunk down with the cloud, something that normally happens with a sloping cloud. So going back down, and then we hit another all-time high. I would say that is also something that happened way back at the start of the cycle. Long your longs. We break above the cloud. We start getting more bullish on the daily. We didn't break below the cloud until all the way over here. That's where I started getting bearish, 42,000.
So when do you get bullish again?
I get bullish when we start seeing momentum above this 200 EMA and when we get above the cloud. Once we're above this area, we're likely going to new all-time highs again.
Okay. So, Coach, first of all, thank you. Second of all, we need you to join our trading competition. Set up a Coach K profile. You got to use the Crypto Banter BYBIT link referral. It's in the description. Do it. Ooh, I'm dropping. That means that my longs are getting killed here. Hold on a second. Are my longs getting killed? Yeah, my longs are now negative. When I get off the show, I've got to see what's going on here.
We had a little bit of a pullback today. So
yeah. All right. The next thing I need from you, I need you to stay on the stream. Kyle, I need you on the stream. Fred, I need you on the stream. Fred?
Yeah, buddy.
Fred. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Stream for a second. Camera on, bro. Camera on.
No, it's not working. Sorry.
No, I need your camera, bro.
No, it's not working.
We need your camera, bro. All right, boys and girls and everybody in the audience. Put your camera on, Jimmy.
Come on, Jimmy. Show some face, bro.
Oh,
hey. Turn it off.
Listen. Today's a big day. Today's Jimmy's birthday. So what we need to do, we need to sing Jimmy happy birthday. So everyone, even the people at home, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jimmy.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Happy birthday, Jimmy. Thank you, Coach. Coach, join our trading competition, bro.
brother.
All right, brother. All right, let's go. I did promise you that there would be no more clickbait tiles. And I did promise you that tell Jimmy happy birthday in the comments. Wish him a amazing birthday. And hopefully next year you'll be a health. I wish you much health and wealth and crypto gains and much less OCD next year.
One short leg, one long.
Yeah, Jimmy with his one short leg and one long leg. All right, listen. I did promise you that there'd be no more clickbait thumbnails. And that and then I made a thumbnail which looked like this. Hold on, this, and you guys are thinking you did it again. You clickbaited. I did not clickbait. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys a trick which the whales do and the more sophisticated investors do, and how you can buy the upside of ETH for $188 or even less. And the way to do it is very simple. It's by learning how to use options. And up until now, it's been very, very difficult for crypto people to use options. We haven't been able to use options. The average retail investor doesn't know how to use call options and put options. And so I thought what we'd start looking at today is how to use call options and put options to actually start making money. And anybody can do this. It's not like you have to be a whale or an institutional investor. It's super, super, super simple. How you do it is you go to an exchange. Now, this is an exchange called Deribit. Okay, Deribit is a derivatives. It's an options exchange. That's what it is. Okay, let's just hide this stupid thing here. Let's see if I can make it bigger so that you guys can see what an option is. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background, a basis of what an option is. An option is exactly that. A call. There are two types of options. There's a call option and a put option. Today we're going to talk about call options. Call options give the holder the right to buy an asset at a certain price. Okay, so if you want to buy an asset at a certain price, you would buy a call option. So if I'm excited about the ETH merge, and I think that the price of ETH is going to go up at the ETH merge, instead of buying one Ethereum and paying $1,880 or whatever the price is today, what I could do is I could buy an option. I could buy a call option. And if I bought a call option, I would have the right or the option to buy Ethereum at a certain date at a certain price. So every option has a strike price and a date. So let's actually look at how an option works, and then I'll show you how you can trade options to capitalize on the merge. So as I mentioned to you, options all have strike prices and dates. So these are the dates when they work. We're going to go to 30th of September because that's the option straight after the merge. Okay. And what you are betting here is what will happen to the merge. Now, right now, Ethereum is trading at 1,000. Let's have a look at it. Where is Ethereum? Ethereum is trading at $1,859. And the question is, what do you think Ethereum is going to trade at on the 30th of September after the merge? If you think that the merge will be successful, or you want to hedge yourself to say, maybe the merge will be successful, but I don't want to buy Ethereum for $1,880 because that's very risky. What you could do is you could buy an option. So let me show you how an option would work. In the middle, you've got strike prices. So let's say that I wanted to buy Ethereum at $1,800 after the merge. How much would it cost me to buy this option? And what you can see is that this option would cost you $268. So if you paid $268 today and you bought this option, after the merge, you could buy Ethereum for $1,800. Plus, you've paid the $268. So how does it work? You go today and you buy an option to buy one Ethereum at $1,800 after the merge. You'd only do this if you were super bullish, super positive, right? If you were super positive and you thought that Ethereum would go up after the merge, if you thought Ethereum was going to go to $2,500 and you didn't want to spend all the money on Ethereum, what you do is you go and buy an option. And the option would cost you $265. So you'd pay $265. And if Ethereum went to, say, $3,000 after the merge, well, you have the right to buy it at $1,800. So if ETH trades at $3,000, you've made a $1,200 profit. But remember that you've bought the call option and you've paid $266 for the call option. So I made a little spreadsheet for us, which I will publish as a Google Sheet just to show you guys how to use options. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you guys how I use options every single day to take bets without actually putting money in. So let's look at this example over here. Let's see if we can make it bigger. Yeah, we can make it bigger over here. You guys can see the screen, yeah? So if the strike price is $1,800, which is what we said, and the price of the option is $265, you pay $265 now, okay? Can you see my screen? Okay. You pay $265 now. If the price of ETH goes down, you've lost only $265. That's the maximum that you can lose because you've paid for the option. But if the price of ETH goes to $3,000, you make $935. Why? Because you make $1,200 in the price difference of ETH, but you paid $265 to buy that call option. And that is how you use call options, how you can spend $188, which is what the price was earlier, by the way, to capitalize on the upside of ETH and to limit your risk. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to spend a lot of time learning how to use options. And I'll give you another example. If you thought that there is no way in hell that ETH would go up, no way in hell, this merge is going to fail, there's no way this is going to happen, and you thought the price of ETH would collapse, you know what you would do? You would sell a call option. Okay? If you sell a call option, that means that you're selling someone the right to buy Ethereum at $1,800. If Ethereum goes down to $1,200, well, you just bank the $265 that you've made. But if Ethereum goes up and you were wrong, then you're going to have to buy an Ethereum and give it to the person who you sold the call option to. And that is how you make money using options. That is how you can capitalize on the upside of ETH with just $188. Quite smart, right? And in the next couple of weeks, on our mission to make you guys the most profitable community in the entire world, we are going to teach you guys how to execute option strategies like real whales. Okay, see people saying fine, they won't unsubscribe. Great. That's what I said. It's true. No more clickbait tiles, people. It's all about credibility. That's why I wore this sweater. It's a credible sweater. All right, let me quickly just see what's happening in the BYBIT competition. Oh my God, I'm slipping here. What's going on? Hold on a second. I should have. It was Sheldon that threw me off again. Hold on a second. It was Sheldon. Sheldon threw me. I should have just stayed short. I've got to go and sort out my BYBIT competition. Do me a favor, if you want to join us, you know how to join us. Tomorrow I'll pick 10 winners and I'll fund you guys. Wow, you can sign up using the referral link. Remember, you can go to our Discord as well. There's a Discord referral link below, and you can see that. There we go. There's a referral link below. I see that 192 of you have already signed up. Go and sign up. It's absolutely free. See you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well, my friends. I'm going to go and fix my BYBIT portfolio. Kept my shorts. Why didn't I just keep my shorts? I should have just stuck with my.
Remember, you laughed at me this morning when I said I'm holding the ETH short.
So where are you? Have you opened your short?
Yeah, it's been open.
So what's your percentage on your portfolio?
Well, remember, I have to recover some of the 8% loss, so I'm like 2% up now.
So where are you ranked?
I'm probably